You're all. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about, with my little piece, I want to talk to you about operating systems for organization. Okay, operating systems for organization. And so you have lots on your plate, right? And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not going to stop coming. Right? You're going to have more, right? When you have family and all of those things and bills and your own, like it's not going to stop coming. And so what you have to do is you have to create systems for you to help you make things less so that you can achieve more through that and provide quality. That makes sense? And so that's just kind of what I want to talk to you about. And these are some things that I've done in my life that's been really beneficial for me. I'll just kind of backtrack. I've told you my story. Played 4 sports for 4 years in high school. Was involved in lots, church, community stuff. Went to college, did that. Then once I was out, been teaching for a long time, teaching and coaching with a family, have a kid, all of those things that's on top, do a lot of stuff outside. But what I've made sure I've done is I've set up systems in my life, and it's allowed me to achieve some pretty cool things because, like, I prioritize, like I showed you, right? I've done the SHG principle every day, like I told you. But then the biggest piece is I have systems in place that help me, like, keep track. Because, like, man, I ain't gonna remember everything that's coming in that I'm supposed to do, right? And so I have systems in place. And so I think the first thing, you got to make sure that you have reflection time each day. And so how that works for me is, so like at the end of the day, I'll have some time, and it don't have to be 5 minutes. Okay, think about how was my day today. I did this. And for y'all, what class was it today? What assignments do I have to do? Reflect on what that is, right? And then make sure you finish that up and wrap that up. And then the next day, you hit the ground running on what you need to work on. Right, and then the end of the day, that day, reflect on, okay, I had this, yada, yada, yada. And what I do is I make lists, and I brought mine to show y'all, like I'm not lying to you. Like, this is my list from yesterday. I didn't make one today because I still got a lot not crossed off from yesterday, right? I'm still working on it, right? And so, like, in that reflection time that I have, I make a list, right? And I don't know if y'all can see, so this is work. These are things that I have to get done for work, and these are things that I have to get done personally. And man, it feels good when I can mark some of those things. I got one marked off with personal, and I got about 3 out of 12 marked off for work. So I'm still a work in progress for the day, right? So that's one thing that I do as far as making lists. The next thing is notes. So like some of you guys, if y'all are, techie dudes, right? And I shared this with Miss Lynette today. Like, I do things in my notes. I have an iPhone on my iPhone, right? And what's cool about that is, and you can do this in Google as well if you're Android or whatever, but so what I put in my notes, I can see it on my iPad and I can see it on my computer as well. That makes sense? So wherever I'm at, I can work on it if I need to work on it, right? So prime example is, like, y'all know I've done some books. Well, most of the books that I've done, I've written my first rough drafts in my phone, in my notes. Right, so anytime I would have time, I'd be somewhere, we're hanging out, got a little time, just put some ideas down, right? And then, of course, later I put it on my computer, put it in Word, and do all of that stuff. But that's another tip that you can use to help you. Like, if you don't want to actually make lists, paper, don't want to keep up with that, you can do that in your phone, right? But the main thing is have that reflection time. And then the next piece is the calendar. Man, use that calendar, right? And on the calendar, I'm going to show you this. All right, so on the calendar, if you got dots on there, that means you got something, right? Got something going on. You see a day on there with no dots? No, you don't, right? So it's a lot going on, right? And so you want to make sure that you put your stuff in your calendar, right? So if you know you have things coming up, put it in your calendar, because now in your reflection time, you can look at your calendar, make your list, and now you see what's going on. Now, as I wrap this up, it may seem like a lot to you, right? But it's really not. But it's not, right? Mr. Wood said, but it's not. But it's really not. And what it is it's a system by which I can keep things in alignment. Because I'm telling you, I got a lot going on, like, that comes in, information that comes in. And as I'm getting older, I ain't going to remember all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to remember to do this, to do that. Now, there's some things, like my family, I'm going to remember all of that. I know that, right? But the other stuff, It's not as important. Like, I'm not going to remember all of that, like meetings and paperwork when I got due. Like, I'm not going to remember that. And so what I've done is put it all in my calendar, make a list so I can see it. And then now, man, it makes me feel good when I can mark all of these things off and take that pad out, boom, and throw it away. Right? Throw it. And so now I'm on to the next thing. Right? So I wanted to share that with you guys as far as your, operating systems for organization. And I think that if you can apply some of that, I think it will really help you. And what's cool is when I was your age, I did some of this stuff, but I didn't realize I was doing it. I didn't really like as an athlete, like you think, okay, like what do I have today for class? Probably got to make sure I get my grades. We're traveling. I got to pack this. You make mental checklists, and I was doing it. But I'm telling you, like when you get to your age, when you get to be a grown man and you have responsibilities, it's going to be more and more stuff on top of that, right? So you got to make sure that you have those systems in place so you don't miss things, right? That good for y'all? Beneficial for y'all? Think y'all can use that? All right, good deal. All right, so
go get it.